Okay, everybody, let's do some quadratic formula review. This is the alternate assignment. So, let's say I was given this quadratic here. The first thing we have to remember, we got to get it equal to 0, right? I need this 39 to move to the left side, get a 0 there, then I can solve with a quadratic formula or factoring or other methods. But we got to get equal to 0. So we're going to start by minusing 39 both sides. And we're left with n squared minus 10n minus 39 equal to 0. Excuse me there. So now, remember, a is always the n squared or the squared term coefficient. So a is 1. B in this case is negative 10. It's always in front of the actual variable. C is always your constant, the number at the end. In this case, negative 39. Please watch your signs. Now the quadratic formula, of course, goes like this. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and do negative of the b. Again, watch your signs. B is negative 10 plus or minus square root. I'm going to do b squared minus 4 times a times c. Please watch those negatives in there. All divided by 2 times a. Now, this is where we have to get our calculator, guys, and we're going to do everything in this radical, right? That's the hardest part. That's the hardest math that we have to do here. So, notice that if I do negative 10 squared, which is 100, and if I minus 4 times 1 times negative 39, hopefully you guys can see I get 256. So, let me get that back out of the way. So what we really have here, therefore, is positive 10, because negative of negative is a positive, plus or minus square root. We just figured out that the square root part was, again, 256. So we have the square root of 256, all divided by 2 times 1 is 2. Now, the square root of 256, guys, again, use your calculator, is 16. So we finally are getting to our answer. We're going to do 10 plus 16 and divide by 2. 26 divided by 2 is 13. We also are going to take the 10 and we're going to do the minus. That's what this plus or minus means. We're going to do a plus, then we're going to do a minus. We're going to get two answers. The plus answer, now we're going to do the minus answer. So we're going to minus the 16 and divide by 2. And negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Now, if we have any doubts, of course, the one thing hopefully you guys still remember I always love to do is verify my answer with the graph. So let's take a look at the graph of our function. And guys, what you're looking at is a green parabola. You're missing the vertex. In other words, this parabola goes all the way down and comes back up. Okay? But notice, this is the x-axis. Notice it's crossing over here at negative 3, 0. And it's crossing right there at 13, 0. That's exactly what we got here and there. Negative 3 and 13. But that right there already, guys, in a nutshell, is how you do the quadratic formula. And it's solving for your x-intercepts. All right? And remember, these x-intercepts have different names. Some will refer to them as zeros. Some will just call them x-intercepts, which they are. Some of them will call it roots. All three words are synonymous. They mean basically the same thing. Okay, let's do another one. So, again, what's wrong here is this minus 6n's got to be over here. So I'm going to add 6n to both sides. So I have 4n squared plus 6n minus 28 equals 0. Be careful with your numbers, your signs. So we know our a is 4. We know our b is positive 6. We know our c is negative 28. Let's do it. Negative of the b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times the a times the c. Be careful when there's negatives. All over 2 times the a. Like before, I'm going to do all of the hard work there with our calculator. So 6 squared is 36. So 36 minus 4 times the a times the c is 484. Now the square root of 484, guys, notice my note on the bottom left corner is 22. So this whole expression becomes negative 6 plus or minus 22 over 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Again, all of this became 484. The square root of 484 is 22. So we're ready to finish it up. So I'm going to end up getting negative 6 plus 22 over 8. That's 16 over 8, which is 2. I'm also going to do negative 6 minus 22 over 8. That's negative 28 over 8. And again, I'm going to divide by 2 to simplify. That's negative 14 over 4. Oh, let's divide by 2 again. Negative 7 over 2. Negative 7 halves. Again, let's check our answer with Desmos. 2 and negative 7 halves is what we got. Here again is our x-axis. Notice it crosses on the right at positive 2. It crosses on the left on the x-axis at negative 3.5. Now remember, negative 7 over 2, if you divide that, guys, is negative 3.5. So guys, hopefully you're seeing how to do the quadratic formula and also seeing that it does work, what it means when it works. You're actually finding your x-intercepts as I'm showing here. All right, let's do one more. What's wrong with this problem, guys? We got to get it equal to 0, right? So I'm going to minus 28 both sides. I got 3p squared minus 8p minus 28 equal to 0. I now know my a is 3, my b is negative 8, my c is negative 28. Watch those signs. So I have the negative of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times the c divided by 2 times the a. Negative of negative 8 is positive 8, plus or minus. 2 times 3 is 6 in the denominator. Let's now do the radical part. Negative 8 squared, of course, is 64. Minus 4 times the a times the c. And what do we get? 400. Now, guys, the square root of 400, okay, is 20. And if you need to, use your calculator, right? We're using calculators, guys. We're not shying away from using calculators. It's a valuable tool that we all take advantage of. So finishing up, I know I'm going to do 8 plus 20 divided by 6. 28 divided by 6. Reducing by 2 is 14 thirds. And I know I'm going to do 8 minus 20 divided by 6. That's negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2. So is negative 2 and 14 thirds the correct answers? Let's use Desmos to verify. Here again is my x-axis, guys. Notice on the left it crosses at -2. On the right, it crosses at 4.66. Guys, this is 14/3. If you divide with a calculator, you will get 4 2/3. Okay, 14/3 is 4 2/3, which is 4.66666. So again, guys, I hope we review a little bit of quadratic formula with me in this nice little assignment unit, whatever you want to call it. And since this is your alternative assignment, guys, here are 5 questions you can practice with. You ready? Here we go. Here's number 4. Problem number 4. It's going to be a total of 5. Again, I don't know if you want to take a picture, print it out, or just write it on a separate sheet of paper, show your work, take a picture, attach it to a reply to me, email, or now in Google Classroom, attach it to your response to my assignment. And here are the last 4. So a total of 5. So pause the video, guys, if you need to. And here are the actual answers. Now remember, guys, whenever I give you answers, my philosophy is real simple. You, of course, could just copy it down and cheat, but you're only cheating yourself, right? You need to work these out. So why am I giving the answers again? It's so that you can work them out on your own, and then you can verify that you're doing it correctly. You should get all of these answers, just like I did. All right. So guys, that ends this video on the quadratic formula. I hope this helps. You know there will be a complimentary or supplementary assignment on Khan Academy on this as well. And I'll have a video supporting it as well. So I'll see you guys around.